Welcome to Emerge and Empower Podcast TV, a platform where resilience meets transformation. Here, we amplify voices that have faced trials, trauma, and adversity, stories that inspire hope, healing, and empowerment. Every episode brings raw, unfiltered conversations with individuals who have risen from hardship, embracing faith, strength, and purpose. Join us as we break the silence, uplift one another, and emerge stronger together. New episodes air Wednesdays at 6 p.m. English and Saturdays at 6 p.m. with select Saturdays in Creole for our Haitian audience.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome back to Emerge and Empower with your host, yours truly. You know who it is, Dr. LinJ. Yes, the healed doctor, the doctor who wants the best for you, the doctor who cares about you, the doctor who said, let's talk about it, and actually listens to you as we take you through your spiritual journey of healing and empowerment. Emerge and Empower, that's exactly what it is. We have emerged from our past traumas. This platform talks about there is life after trauma. We all have gone through variations of trauma. It doesn't respect a person. It doesn't respect a culture. It doesn't respect a nationality. It really doesn't respect anything because once we are living, we are experiencing different depths of our life. For some, it started from childhood. For some, it is midlife. For some, it is later. For some, it's through healing. It's through sickness and pain, grief and loss. Whichever it is, we each have all had a traumatic life altering event that we are still trying to come away from. For some, it was a matter of a minute. For some, it was 2, 3 years, a lifetime. But either way, today, it is your time to get on the couch and let's talk about it. Let's start this journey to healing and heal for real. The key is to heal for real. We're going to talk about it. We're going to take all the necessary modalities so that we can be a whole. All right. Stop living life a quarter of yourself, half of yourself, three-quarters of yourself, but live life whole. And you know what I'm going to tell you right now? It is time to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe to Emerge and Empower by Dr. LinJ on YouTube. Go to our website, emergeandempowertv.com, and that is where you'll get all the audio. You'll never miss anything once you have subscribed to us. Also, we have shemergence.com, and that is where you can see all of my books, all 9 of my books that are the story of my journey. And these stories will indeed help you heal for real. Now, do you have a story to tell? Reach out to me, Dr. Lynn J. That's right, Dr. Lynn J. at emergeandempower@gmail.com. Dr. Lynn J., I have a story and I would like to come on your platform and share it. Dr. Linda, mwen gen yon histwa, mwen vle vini nan platform wa pou m patajel, paske mwen gon témoignage la vim, e m santi gen moun kap benefisye la dan. Well, basically, what I just said, y'all know I'm bilingual. I just let everybody know that the same thing I just told you. If you have a story to tell, come on to the platform. We're always ready and willing to hear your stories of transformation and growth. Today is no other, all right? It's a typical Wednesday where we come on and have individuals talking about their emergence. All right, where they came from and where are they now? This is the only podcast I believe that takes you from before, in between, and after, and still thriving, right? It's continuous, and we bring you back for everything that unfolds in your life. We want to know, where are they now? Many have come back after a year of being on this platform, and everything that God has shown us in discernment, they are actually moving accordingly. So it is indeed a blessing to be on Emerge and Empower. So we are getting ready now for our guest to come on. Her name is Stacy. She'll be here to share her story. Did you do it yet? Did you subscribe? Did you share? Did you put it in your groups? Let's go. It is time to heal for real. All righty. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone. Let us welcome Stacy to the set. Stacy, welcome to Emerge and Empower. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here.
We love it. We love it. We love it. Stacy reached out and listened. Like many others, she said, I have a story to tell. And this is a platform where indeed individuals are debuting their stories. She is also debuting her first book, one of many to come, as our conversations were behind the scene. And we are glad that Stacy is here on Emerge and Empower. And wherever you are today, across the country, across the world, globally, because yes, Emerge and Empower is global and we love it. We love the feedback. So, Stacy, go ahead and introduce yourself and let everyone know where you're connecting from.
Yes, thank you. So my name is Stacy Schaffer. I am a child, adolescent, and young adult therapist in Arvada, Colorado, which is a suburb of Denver. And I recently wrote a book called With Love from a Children's Therapist, #Lessons I've Learned Along the Way. And it is a story of resilience, both mine and clients I've had the pleasure of working with. And it was a long time coming, and I'm really glad I did because it is an authentic document of my healing.
Right. Thank you so much. So, everyone, you heard it here. She has a book. We'll be talking a little bit about that a little bit further as she dives into her story. And now, Stacey, as we have said before, Emergent Empower is a platform where people transparently speak and share their stories. So, we don't limit you on what it is that you want to say, but we also tell people this is a platform where people are not to bully, not to judge. This is a place that is a safe place so people can tell their stories and not be ostracized, right? And so, as people tell their stories, this is their story of healing. Many might be family members or others who don't understand the journey because it was not their story to tell. On today, it is your story to tell, and you're going to tell your story at the best of your ability. And thankfully, you have come away from what initially, all right, was one of the defining moments of your life. So, Stacy, take us right through into your journey of your story. You can start from the very beginning, the place that you decide that you would like to share with our viewing audience today.
Yeah, okay. Well, so the good news about not having to have any family feedback is that I don't have any family, that
Oh,
everybody
wow.
who's connected me to me has died. And
I'm so
so
sorry.
thank you. And so I'm a children's grief therapist. I have a
Hmm.
specialty because I know some grief.
Right.
So we start there. There's no one coming after me arguing my story. But I would say that as I become more and more honest and do my own work, that the
Yes.
truth is that my childhood was horrendous. That there was abuse at every level and trafficking, that
Hmm.
I don't talk details because I don't find that to be helpful,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
that feels reserved exclusively for certain environments, including the
Right.
therapeutic office.
Hmm.
But there was a long string of events that started at 3, and then there was a significant traumatic story from when I was 11. And when I returned home from this traumatic experience, is where I feel like the split in me happened,
Okay.
where I packaged that away, like all the trauma,
Hmm.
and I made a conscious decision to turn into the perfect kid.
Hmm.
And so I did the right things, said the right things, got the grades, got the friends, got the accolades, and all the while, that suffering that didn't leave,
Right.
like as it it would be real nice. But it
Mm-hmm.
did not. And so I built a foundation on the time when I returned home.
Mm-hmm.
And so that premise meant that there was a lot of hiding and a lot of shame about what was underneath.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so my mom died when I just turned 22. She had a long battle with breast cancer. And she was the last remaining family member, an only child.
My condolences to you for your loss.
Thank you. And so I would talk a lot when I would talk about, with friends, like things that I struggled with was like the grief of my mom dying, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
That was traumatic and hard, but like the real meat of some of those limiting beliefs that start when you're young, like those
Right.
just stayed under the surface.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I knew when my mom died that I was already going to go to school to be a therapist because let's
Mm-hmm.
help other people instead.
Right.
And so I knew I wanted to specialize in helping kids because I wanted to be who I needed when I was younger that I didn't have.
Right.
And so that's a big part of the meat of it.
Okay. So basically, this all started for you, the traumatic experiences started when you were 3 year old, based on what you said, until you was 11 years old.
Yeah. So like I mean I can say the outline because I do say this like I write about it.
Mm-hmm.
But so I was molested by an uncle when I was 3. Tried to get help, was shut down and it happened until I was 10. And then I
Wow.
ended up having to testify because it did get caught.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was back in the day when we put kids on the stand.
Right.
Before we learned that was a terrible idea.
Right. Right.
And then my mom, that I need to believe that it was with the best intentions.
Mm-hmm.
But she had me sent away.
Okay.
And it was like in that facility that the worst of the worst happened to me.
Wow. Wow.
And so then when I returned home from that facility is when I didn't talk about my childhood at all.
Right.
I would kind of start like usually talking about my childhood age 14.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, I excelled in speech and debate. I did this, I did that, but I didn't go there.
Right. And that's
So
usually what
it was
happens. That's a
every form.
typical.
I was like talking with my therapist and she's like, the best way to describe it is every abuse imaginable, including trafficking. Like that's the honest truth of your story.
Right. Right. And through everyone that I've heard and everyone who have gone through such traumas as children, do try to excel in other areas, right? Like you're failing in an area, you're hurting in an area. So the other way is to fit in, to be pleasing, to be the best at something, to take away or derive high, because we disassociate as children, not
Right.
realizing we're disassociating. And so now they can be one of the greatest and the best academic students, and everybody think you have it all together. And that also becomes also a place of bullying because you get Miss Goody Two Shoes, all of these things that also comes along with that. Whereas people are not realizing there's other areas that you're failing in that's way worse than what is actually showing.
Totally.
And so usually what happens is you're excelling. You're doing so much more in another area. And you see this throughout life, even into people who are adults who look like they have it all together, and then unfortunately are no longer here. We can use the word why they unalive themselves because there was still a lot of things that they did not heal on. Yes, they're excelling. People want to be like them. They see them as a role model, but then they have this hidden secret, this hidden thing inside that's always eating away while everyone's smiling. You can't really, really laugh. You can't really, really be good because you're still trapped into, yeah, but I got this going on as well. All right. And so now for that experience to happen and then for you to be removed where you needed to have that love, you remove out of a space where you needed that love to put into an institution, you become institutionalized. That is like another trauma in itself upon other experiences that you had to go in all of that. So of course, now when you come back, I mean, you're not going to say anything in hopes of maybe they'll send you back to another facility or somewhere else, because this is what usually happens, and this is how children sees it. If this happened, but here's the reaction here, well, I'm not going to say more because it could become even more so. But what I like about your story was that it did go to the trial, and the predator was persecuted.
Yes,
Wow.
no, it's true because I came home and I'm like, there's not a safe place to land. You know,
Right.
there was not a container be able to hold that trauma, and I'm certainly not going to try to open up again. And
Right.
when I returned home, my mom was dying. She had a long journey with breast cancer, and so
Wow.
part of her belief system was like, while I am sick, you can get the care you need for the abuse that happened.
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
want to believe that is what happened, but I didn't start talking about my story until about a decade ago. And so my mom died without knowing any of it at all.
Wow, wow, wow. And like you say, you don't have any relatives to relate to as
No.
well.
But I do want to say I have amazing chosen family. I'm not
You have a
alone, and so
community.
that's important to note. I guess have less drama at Thanksgiving than other people.
For sure.
And so, but I want it known that like I am so loved and I'm so cared for and so supported. It's just there's no one biologically related to
I
me.
get you. Well, I want you to know that Emergent in Power, I, Dr. LinJ, you can see me as a sister, because I believe in what he says. He is a father to the fatherless and a mother to the motherless, and takes care of the orphans, which is a special place for God, and the widows. So therefore, my heart goes out to you,
Thank you.
and I understand that, and I want you to know you got a sister here. All
Thank you.
right. I don't believe people should live in a world feeling like they're lonely, they don't have some place to go to or someone to talk to. And I'm glad you have a community, because communities is what help us heal.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. So thank you for saying that.
Thank you, thank you. So we're gonna continue now. So now you go through high school, you go into, let's walk us through your journey before you get to this point of helping individuals. What was that like in self-discovery?
Yeah, so I tried to reinvent myself, I suppose, that like with no backstory. Like I didn't have any lore, even though I had a lot of lore. And so I started high school, and my thing was speech and debate. It was my safe place. My most favorite teacher in the whole wide world was like the coach,
Mm-hmm,
and it made me feel like I could focus on something else. And I
mm-hmm,
did, and I
mm-hmm.
achieved a lot. And it's interesting when you say, when you talk about people unaliving themselves,
Right.
because I write about when my first competition in speech and debate, which was also called forensics, my very first competition, I actually won the all around title.
Okay.
And I was standing there on that stage I can see it now, getting a standing ovation. And inside, I felt repulsive and
Wow.
unworthy, as you talk about. And I was like, the dichotomy was too much.
Yeah.
And so that was when I went home and did try to unalive myself.
Wow. Wow.
And
That can be
I
very overwhelming.
Yes, and I think that it was really important to write about because on the surface, didn't look like the kid that you worry about.
Uh-huh.
And so in my practice and in my book, and in things I post, it's really important to me that we're paying attention to the
Yes.
shiny kids, right? Because they're not on fire. They're not, making sound.
Right.
And so like it was a not planned intervention that like people came home when they weren't going
Mm-hmm.
to be, so we know that isn't random.
Yeah.
And so spoiler alert, I survived.
Yes.
And so and then I flipped into, oh my gosh, no, you're right, like I should take deep breaths and go on walks. And yeah, I'll take a break from the team for a week and it's fine. And, you know, like people that were in my family of origin, like, great. Like, you good? But I was not.
Yeah.
And so I, you know, continued on through high school. Like I said, my mom died the summer before my senior year of college. And so I was already enrolled in grad school, and so went through like classes, you know, to be a therapist in grad school. And it was back in the day, things have changed. It was back in the day when they wanted you to be completely okay, which we know is not a thing.
Right.
They wanted you to be completely okay before you like go talk to other people. So I'm like, I am an expert in hiding. So yeah, like,
continue to hide it.
Yeah, I'm sure my mom's death made me sad, but I'm a better person because of it. And so it just continued, you know, to hide. And so, you know, I went through adulthood, never really, I used to get called out a lot from friends. They're like, we've been at dinner for like an hour and like, you haven't talked about how you're doing.
Wow.
And I'd be like, oh yeah, fine. Yeah. And so that version of me, she can stay there, but this version of me likes to live more authentically.
Yeah.
And I continue to do my own work. And I think that there's nothing personally more important as a clinician, especially for the younger generations, to model like the whole wounded healer, the like, life is hard, man. I tell kids, you have a grand therapist. Are you joking? Like, you need me to be doing my own work.
Yeah.
And so that's part of my personal / professional journey.
All right. So when did your personal healing actually happen? Is it through as you were studying, you were understanding? When did you get to that point of, okay, you know?
One of the significant moments that happened was actually at a dinner party. And it was a Christmas dinner party. And people were talking about their little rebellious selves in middle school. And someone's like, yeah, like big story, I broke a pipe and got in trouble. And someone else is like, oh, did you know I did this? And then like without thinking, I was like, oh yeah, did you know that I was like, I was paid, it was a paid kidnapping and I got sent to Utah. And everyone was like, it was like one of those record stop moments.
Right.
And I was like, oh yeah, I never mentioned that, right? He's like, you know, I skipped a grade. You know, that whole year there was abuse and torture instead of, you know, math and PE. And so I was like, oh, maybe I should start talking about that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, started doing my own work and my own like current therapist where we talk a lot about the like somatic healing and really kind of like healing, not having to go back, but dealing with what's present because of the past. And so like since that time, I've always like been doing my own work. That was about a decade ago.
Yeah, and what I realize, and through everyone that I've spoken, is the healing journey is continuous. You're always, you know, evolving, you know, like, oh, okay, now I understand this. Oh, okay, this makes sense. And you just keep going and going and going. So you're discovering things about you more and more. Some habits that you have, you probably didn't realize why you had those habits, and it was because of, you know, the trauma that you experienced. And then you recognize why you feel this way when you're triggered, why you feel this way when you hear a key in the door, why you feel this way if somebody's whistling, like with all of these different things that people have as triggers. And then you start to understand, oh, okay, this is why I don't like to sleep at night. Oh, this is why, I'm guarded, why all these walls are up. So you keep going through it, and layer by layer, you're taking those down bit by bit, right? Now, you say you help with children. So what is the age group?
So my practice, I usually see people in between the ages of 3 and 30. And
Wow. As
I would
young as
say
3.
yes, yeah. There's
Wow.
things that it's hard out there, right? And so I think it's beautiful people who bring their young kids to counseling that
Hmm.
like I'm always like, didn't you wish you had that when you were younger? And they're like,
Right.
yes, life
Right.
would be a lot better. But
Hmm.
I would say the bulk of my day is like the tween and teen population.
Yeah. Yeah. That would
Um,
definitely be a big one.
yeah, and so that and my hope is that their journey as an adult, like they don't suffer as much,
Right.
even remotely than I did.
Right.
So I say I'm a child and adolescent therapist, but that's like the range usually.
Yes. The range for you. Yes. Wow. Well, you're doing tremendous work, especially to start as young, trying to have a 3-year-old understand what is happening, bringing that reality and bringing that full circle, for healing. And that's a very transformative. Once you can get it there, that will stop so many of the delays and the self-destruct and all the things that we go through, especially as teenagers, because now you start to push certain limits because of things that happen. And I do believe that anything that we're reacting or living out as teenagers actually continues in our adult life, right? So it is crucial if we could get it before a teenager, before the self-destruct, before the self-hate and, all of these things, to get that early so that we can have a healthy, because we have so many people living a quarter of their life or half of their life or not 3/4 who are walking around not whole. Right?
Right.
We have halves of people around, we have a quarter, a third of people around in their life as instead of being a whole, right? Because of all of these brokenness. We hear it all the time about Humpty Dumpty, right? Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king horses and all the king men came to put him together again. But in life reality, if something porcelain is broken, it's hard to put back together. It takes a lot of time. It's not a magic glue, right? So that's what you're doing, trying to put those pieces, in place, and unfortunately, it's hard to not have those scars show. So the place is to make sure that people can understand. So take us through a professional expose, like you say, in reference to like average, as far as reaching out to an individual or a scenario of the breakdown. Is your therapy short term, long term? How does it work?
Yeah, like it's definitely everything in between. I would say like my friends who are therapists for adults, they're like my clients are talking about the stuff that happened when they were a kid, and so the hope is that like early intervention,
Hmm.
and it saves them the grief of that. I would say that the majority of like at least lately, clients that reach out, like it's the kid is struggling with anxiety. And so I have them come in. I build a lot of rapport. It's really
Hmm.
important, like safe space. I say, um, I'm a therapist, so I ask nosy questions.
Right.
Try to help you feel better. If there's something you don't want to answer, not now, not yet, not ever, you say pass. And that's always honored. And I usually find they go back to that themselves.
Okay.
Um, but I have two separate rooms. The next room, it looks like therapeutic Disneyland exploded, and there's just every squishmallow possible.
Hmm.
Um, and so it's really important to like it's what I would have wanted. And so it's really important that there's a safe space of a lot of things like to do to fidget with so
Right.
that it's not just like what they would picture on TV. I
Hmm.
really like being not what they imagined. I love
Right.
that.
Right.
But having a safe space to like explore some of those things,
Hmm.
and it depends on the age.
Right.
Like there's play therapy for like kids, in the 3 to 8 year old range. But
Uh-huh.
sometimes when they're tweens, they're like, no, I want to talk. I want to play with the slime you have because slime.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to talk about how I feel and have
Yeah.
a place that feels non-judgmental, that they're not going to be interrupted. They're not going to be argued with.
Yeah.
And so I find that really healing. And I have a therapy dog in training. So Willow helps a lot too, just her
Okay.
existence.
Very good. Very good. So, so we're gonna dive into your book. So we're gonna dive right into your book here, and we'll put that here on the screen. So take us through how you came about getting into this book and sharing it with our
There's my book.
viewers.
There's my book.
Yes.
She's a newborn.
With love from
And
a
so
children's therapist.
yes, and then it's hashtag lessons I've learned along the way. So I knew for a while that I had things to say,
Yeah.
that I wanted to write a book. It was really important to me to title it with love,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that a lot of people worry that that children's like therapists like are automatically judging their parenting.
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, I think that is an incredibly hard job.
Right.
But there's things that I'm told that don't always make it into the outside world. So kids, everyone knows the limitations of confidentiality. If you're going to hurt yourself, if you're going to hurt someone else, or someone's hurting
Right.
you, all bets are off.
Mm-hmm. Right.
However, a lot of times things that I'm told don't fall into those categories. But like, gosh, that would be really helpful if
Right.
your mom knew that. Like I don't like it when she blink. And so I'll say, hey, like, I wonder if I can say something to her,
Mm-hmm.
either with you, without you. And it's, sometimes they're like, yeah, sure, please. But sometimes they're like, no, it'll make it worse, because they'll say, no, I'm the worst parent ever, slams door. And so I'm like, gosh, there's like so many things that I hear repeatedly, so many lessons that these kids are teaching me, that like I want more people to hear it.
Yes.
And so it was originally just supposed to be like what I've heard on the other side of the couch for being a clinician for almost 2 decades.
Yeah.
However, in doing my own work, I'm like, oh, there's things that could be like extracted from the things I went through, in order to like transmute them into something beautiful. So it's a combination of both my story, and my professional opinion about how tricky it is to be a kid in today's world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, what would be the thing that grab individuals to feel like this book is a book that they must have?
Yeah.
Parents, professionals.
Well, so some of the
etc.
feedback that I'm getting is that, and it makes me cry. Is people are like, I am feeling seen. I'm feeling seen. And so I've been saying, for anyone who is connected to a child or is trying to do the work of healing their inner child, because that's so many of us, right? That it's like, yeah, that's what I needed when I was young. And
Yeah.
so I would say for anyone that like wants to show up for kids better, or to have some language behind what they're dealing with in their healing journey, because like I'm right there with you. And so like both of those things I think combined are kind of my target audience.
Wow. And so would you say this is just for the adults, or what age group will find this helpful?
Yes. Well, so like the general idea is that it is for adults. I have had thoughts about, writing a book for kids. It is for adults. However, I did my own audiobook too. And so it's my cartoon voice on there. I'm pretty excited about that.
Okay.
But
Congratulations.
thank you. One of my teenage clients, we were talking 10 minutes in, and then she said, so I listened to your book, and I was like, oh, and I'm like, okay, well, like, do you want to talk about it? And so I would say, like, I do know of like older teens that I've heard from both my clients, my friends, kids, um, are feeling really, really heard with that. Like
Okay.
someone who's like a brother to me, his daughter uh, commented on Amazon and on Goodreads and just said, if there is one message in this book, it is please listen to your kids.
Yes.
And that she, particularly like Ivy, felt really, really understood and was like, yeah, that. And so
Yes.
I
That's
so I would
powerful.
say that there's so much joy there for me that I'm like, yes, yes. So for people to be seen, so I'd say older teen and up.
Yes. All right. That's very well. Now, where can they find your book?
Yeah, so it's on Amazon. It is on Audible. It's on Barnes and Noble. My publishing company did make me a website at authorstacyschaffer.com, and it sounds like that have that information.
Okay.
But like through any of those, it sounds like too like anywhere where you can get an audiobook. But Audible is the most known. It's also on Spotify.
All
Um,
right. So everyone, you heard it, and the links will be in the bio, so you'll be able to get in touch. And like we always say, we live in a world where a lot can be done virtually, so you don't have to be exactly where Stacy is, that she can still see you. And if you find her relatable, if you have a child that you feel can fit, maybe there's no one, you can't find someone local, but she's in a network that probably can give you more accessibility, I'm sure, because this is the first for us where we have a psychiatrist that comes on that actually starts with the age of 3, because most people are dealing with adults. So I love the fact that we have this now for children, like you said, and we wish we had it when we were children, or if the parents could actually afford it, because that's also affordability was also one of the things as well, that parents could not give this to children. And I am praying that insurances will understand that this is also something that insurances should cover as well. You
yeah.
understand? Because the spirit of man is also needs care, you know.
Yes. And I am an insurance provider. And so I'm on like all the major insurances. No, everyone knows they're a pain to deal with, but I feel
Hmm.
like there's so much inequity in healthcare. And so they're a pain, but the majority of people I see like wouldn't be able to afford out of pocket. So
Right. Oh, that's
I'm glad you're
good.
saying that because I think it is tricky to find providers in your network.
Right, that's true. And I'm also an insurance broker. I do life and health. So that's good to know. When people call and they're looking for a specialist, you let me know what all those carriers are as well, because I'm global, so I can sell all over the United States. And so it doesn't matter where individuals are, so they can know that there are people out there that do have it, because we notice a lot of plans don't actually have that grandfathered in, and it's very important.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you look outside today and it is not a slow time for children's mental health.
No,
And so I believe that my job will not be replaced by AI.
no,
AI is a great tool, but like not in this field.
no, not in this
And
field. This is human connection, you
human
know.
connection, exactly.
This is
And
human
on
connection.
my authorstacyschaffer.com website, there's a way to contact me as well.
Okay, very well. So everyone, you've seen it here. We have our therapist here, a children's therapist. Okay, so reach out to Stacy. Now, if you find her relatable, her story relatable, or you know someone who needs her expertise, all right. If you can't remember it, or I don't know, whatever reason, just inbox me and I'll be able to get you in touch. I love your feedbacks, because when we have these feedbacks, we can get this in the hands of the right people. Do you do group sessions?
I have in the past.
Okay.
I did the last one I did was for kids of high conflict divorce. I
Okay.
haven't in a while just because the schedule's pretty packed, but I'm not against experimenting if
Okay.
there's need.
Very well, very well. So, Stacy, before we close off, what message would you like to relay out there to a parent, to maybe a teen that's watching? What message you'll give to the individual itself?
Yeah. I think it's important to remember because it's a repeated theme in my life, especially with the journey of just my family
Hmm.
dissolving. That you're not alone. That
Right,
the thoughts, the feelings that you're having, there's other people that feel that too.
right.
And so
Hmm.
I hope that like you see that and read that if you choose to get my book and just remember like you're not the only one.
You're not the only one. And don't be silent because silent is one of the most dangerous. Uh,
Yes.
Detrimental. So if you're a teenager on here, reach out, talk to somebody, guidance counselors in the school. There are so many ways to get the help that you need. It could be an adult who is still dealing with their past child, their inner child. It is time to come to terms with that. Emerge and Empower is about healing for real, all right? So we need you to heal and to be whole, all right? Because in life, we have too many people coming together, two halves to make a whole, and that's friction. That's a problem, all right? And it's a disaster. We need to become whole in order to have healthy lives. To have a family, all of that to be healthy, even your business and how you relate to uh, each other. It goes a long way. So it starts with healing your anger, your anxiety, your depression, all of these is because it's time to let it go, release all of the hurt so you can heal and actually live, start living. Because we go through life existing in pain, but you live once you release that, acknowledge it. It happened. All right. Say it happened and move on. No one's going to come down on you. And if anybody does, they're wrong. They should not. You know, you are not the cause of what happened to you. That person was wrong to invade your space, invade your privacy, your innocence. All right. It was the predator's fault, not yours. So, time to let go. All right. So, we're going to close off. Before we close off, I say again, is there anything else that maybe popped in your mind that you said, oh, I think I could add this? This is your opportunity, Stacy.
No, I'm just really excited to be here and to get my book out in the world. It's like my hope is that it helps impact a lot of lives. So I'm glad to be here for your listeners, and hopefully
All right,
someone
everyone.
picks it up and that it is helpful.
All right, so this is Stacy's book. It's called With Love from a Children's Therapist, okay? From a children's therapist. Read this, put this book in the hands of teenagers, all ages, all right? And let's heal for real. This is a book that's going into the adolescence. I love it because that is one of the crucial times that we can get ahead. Do this early. Let's do damage control now,
Right.
all right? Do it now. All right. Don't say time heals. It doesn't heal if you're broken. It doesn't heal if you're not in that journey to heal. It only becomes destructive. All right. So let's heal for real. And this is Stacy's book, With Love from a Children's Therapist. All right. And I believe this is not the last time that she will be here on this platform. So if anybody find her relatable, like I said again, let's reach out, click on those links, let her know that you connected from Emerge and Empower. Again, With Love from a Children's Therapist. It's on Amazon. Just Google it. Once you Google it, you'll find it. All right. So thank you so much, Stacy, for coming on the platform. And until next time, everyone, we thank you for being on this platform on today. Thank you so much, Stacy, and bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Heard it here on Emerge and Empower. You've heard it where we had Stacy on the set, and she is a therapist for children. This is important for us to get in the front row seat of this. Get the help, get the children the help that they need. I have dealt with a lot of parents who have had children who have gone through such griefs and has gone through such life altering things. It might not all be sexual trauma. Children deal with anxiety, bullying. There's so many facets of it. So let's get our children the help they need today so they can become better adults tomorrow. Okay, we need to get our children the help that they need today so they can become uh, life changers tomorrow. All right. Instead of adding to all these norms, we don't want them in jail. We don't want them dead. We don't want all of these things happening. We want them to be living a healthy lifestyle. So I want to thank each and every one of you to watch. This has been a special segment as we are talking to the heart of the child. Many of my guests come on as adults talking about what they went through as children. But in this scenario, we have a therapist that is targeting, children from the age of 3 and adolescents, even though she goes all the way into 30, but all deals with children all the way to young adults. It is necessary. So we thank each and every one of you for being here on the set of Emerge and Empower. And it has been your host, Dr. LinJ. Until next time.